I'm here. Can you hear me?
You said shit. Take the call away there, buddy.
Yes, sir. I want to welcome you guys to the call. Today is Tuesday, December 10th. This is Coach Epps. Super excited, always excited, Coach Epps. I'm excited that you guys are here. This morning, I have the pleasure of bringing on a gentleman who I have an incredible amount of respect for. He's the reason that I learned the snowmobile. But we're having a lot of fun and leisure. It's incredible for us to be able to reach out and work with so many people, so many good-hearted, kind-hearted people around the globe. But I had a chance to communicate back and forth somewhat this morning with a close business partner of mine, Mr. Sean, out of Ontario, Canada. Sean, I'm going to turn the call over to you. I got my pen and pad ready, sir. I know you're going to give us some good stuff this morning, so I'm excited. I'm glad you could make it on this morning, and the call is yours. Can you hear me? Are you there? Did you run away? Maybe Sean went back to sleep. Well, Coach Epps gonna rock and roll as normal. I'm glad you guys are here. Sean, just let me know when you're ready. But I'm glad you guys are here. We're gonna go ahead and get this call rocking and rolling. I was sharing this morning. Can you guys hear me? Sorry about that. Don't know what happened, but I'm sorry about that. Alright, now, Sean, are you here? Maybe not, he'll call me again. But I was sharing last night, and a little bit this morning, with a couple of business partners, and we were talking about some basics. And just one thing we all have to understand, I mean, we'll learn different nuances, we'll learn different things that are super important that will allow us to continue to grow. But one of the most important things that we all have to make sure we're always doing the three-way calls. And just really briefly, I had a business partner that really wanted to know, number one, why we do three-way calls. And then number two, wanted to know how we do three-way calls. And that came back from. All right, good deal. I'll bring you on just a second. So for me, just kind of sharing a couple of basics. Number one of the most important things that I shared with her was the simple fact that you can never do a three-way call at a bad time. One thing we have to understand about what we do is that third party is super important. Third party gives you strength. It gives you credibility. It gives you credibility with those that know you or think they know you. But it's so important because it allows you to move out of the way. I learned early in the industry that facts tell, stories sell. So it's always great to be able to include someone or several someones throughout the process when we're building the business by using three-way calls. So that's why. And then just really quickly how, I won't go into the specifics, but the bottom line is this. Always make sure you edify your expert. You have to make your expert walk on water and glow in the dark when it comes to a prospect. One thing I love about the three-way call is all I have to do, I don't have to be great at doing the calls, well I do at this point, but if I'm brand new, I don't have to be great at doing the calls, I just have to be great at edifying my expert. So I just want to encourage everybody to make sure that you're great at edification. I don't think we can ever be too good at edification. I find that those that aren't that great at edification, those that don't do edification, are those that basically like praising themselves, those that have a personal ego, those that would rather talk highly about themselves than someone else. Understand, we will never be successful in what we do if we are not praising other people. So understand the importance of edification. So I'm excited. I'm going to get out of the way. I got my pen. Matter of fact, I got two pens ready. But I got my pen and pad ready. But I definitely want to bring you on. You had some good stuff that you were sharing with me this morning. So I want to be able to render some time to you to be able to share with everybody else. So everybody's my good friend, business partner. For those that don't know him, if I were you, I would definitely go and check out that diamond video of his. But he has an incredible story. He's also an incredible snowmobiler. But this is my good friend, business partner Sean down out of Ontario, Canada. Take it away, Sean.
Hey, how you doing there, Coach Jeff? Thanks for the awesome introduction. And your leadership is definitely exhilarating, and I love getting on and working side by side with you. And one thing I learned in the industry was when two great minds come together, a genius is born. It's just something you can look up in different books, but someone said that along the way. And I think, when we're looking at the industry, we need to really realize the simplicity of it, and we need to realize that it's a momentum-based business. And to create momentum, I think people really complicate this, and they really believe that they need to go out and recruit 1,000 people, and their head gets in a fog, I think, sometimes, Coach. And it's really a lot simpler than that. And if you guys have a pen and paper, you could write this down. And I'll suggest that if you don't have a pen and paper, you always want to have a pen and paper no matter what meeting or call you're on. And even if it's on a three-way call, because that's how you'll develop your leadership. So, and those are all little things that all add up to creating momentum in your future of your business. So, but to simplify the equation for everyone, I think you really need to realize that all you really need, this is one thing that David Moses and Phil Jacobson taught me in the beginning when I was starting, was 5, 25, 125, 625, and then of course 3,000, 125. So what we're talking about there is 5 people, and then you help your 5 get their 5 that are coachable, right? They're aces, right? We're talking about a deck of cards, 52 people, and we're talking about finding the 4 aces, right? Phil Jacobson talks about that all the time. And so if we're just, for easy figures, instead of 4 aces, let's just say there's 5 aces in a deck of cards. So you're looking for 5 aces. And then once you get your 5 aces that are coachable, you work with them. And you teach them about the calls and the system, and you teach a man, teach a woman how to fish. You don't give them a fish. So if they ask you for a phone number, you don't give them a phone number. You give them a website where they can find a phone number. And these are all little things along the way that are going to help create momentum. Every little action adds up. It's like a drop of water in a bucket. Every drop of water makes a lake, right? It's the same thing. Every little action that you take along the way, or don't take, daily, consistently, is going to affect your business. So, since it's a momentum-based business and you don't need that many people, once you have 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 people that want to work the business and want to make money and want to be coachable and understand that the product is wonderful, but that it's not the product based people or oriented towards that are going to make the money. You can be product oriented, and you can want to bring the product to the world. But if you're a product based person and you had a great product experience, which I have, as of all the leaders that make the money, is the one thing that separates us is that we understand that the third party credibility call has to be in place, right? Because the person's going to trust you, but they're going to respect the person who's making money. So that has to be in place. And it also permits someone to build internationally throughout the week. So all these little things added up help create momentum. Now, the other thing, so I guess recapping here, you want to understand the simplicity of this. Once you have a group of 5 or 6 people who want to make money, now, yes, you might have to make a list of 50 people and call them all and say, look, I'm working on a plan B part-time, and I want to know if you're interested in taking a look. And the minute they ask you, is it one of those pyramid schemes, or is it one of those things, or if you've done networking in the past, and they say, if this is that or that, or, just don't answer anything. Just say, look, you know what? I'm working with doctors. I'm working with pharmaceutical people. I'm working with coaches. I'm working with people from NHL. I'm working with chiropractors. I'm working with waitresses and plumbers. I'm working with a lot of different credible people and athletes. I'm working with some really good people. And I'm just asking you, if you're keeping your options open, come back to the question. Don't answer. Don't talk, right? Come back to the question and just say, are you open? I thought of you, and I just wanted to make sure that, along the way that you didn't say, hey, you didn't think of me, And so make sure that you're keeping it simple and you're not talking, and then the minute that you book the appointment and give them the website, you get off the phone, and that you've booked the time as to what time they're going to look at it today or tomorrow, and that you're going to get back to them, and the money's in the follow-ups. So another little key golden nugget there, that the money's in the follow-ups, and you've got to do it within the same day or the next day. I would suggest, with my experience, otherwise life gets busy in people's minds, and they forget. And next thing you know, you're calling them 2, 3, 4 days later, especially with the rush of Christmas, and you're also not really putting the importance of getting, it's just not that urgent for them. If you're not saying, hey, I'll get back to you, take a look at it, it'll take you about a half an hour, and I'll get back to you. I'm really excited. Or if you're not excited about this, then you need to be, because we've got something really exciting, both on the pay side and in the product. So creating momentum starts with all kinds of little things. Pay attention, know your websites, know your tools. I was speaking with a lady this morning, and she said, my back really hurts. I'm going to see the massage therapist, but she just came out of a major operation with cancer, and she's getting, rehabilitated, and they're working on her body a lot. And the Zija oil, as we know, with all its properties, the Moringa seed oil has all the properties necessary to help with bruising. So I said to her, bring your Zija oil with you. Ask the massage therapist to put it on your back. She will automatically ask you what it is. And when she does, hand her a pamphlet. Don't try to explain it. Hand her a pamphlet, flip it over, and say, here's the Russ Bianchi site. On the right-hand side, you'll see a column on bruising. Look it up. That's duplicatable. That's quick. That's simple. That's easy. And then make sure that you're going to call her back, that night or the next day, and say, hey, did you look that up? Do the follow-up, right? So make it quick, make it simple, make it easy, but be prepared. Have that pamphlet ready. Bring the oil and make her ask questions. And that will start to generate momentum. Understand you need 5 people, 6 people that want to make money, and then work with them. Teach them the system. Introduce them up to the upline. I wanted to talk about the tools, right, and 6 degrees to separation. 6 degrees of separation, and understanding. I heard someone come on the call today that said, that I know that's in my business that's on the call right now, and said, my sister-in-law is, married to Wayne Gretzky or something like that, and I said, when are we talking to Wayne Gretzky? So you're never far away from knowing someone who knows someone, right? Another example is I know Coach Epps, and Coach Epps might know Chris Estes, and Chris Estes might know, Phil Jacobson. So we're never far away in different countries and different continents and different locations of the world of knowing someone with a big sphere of influence. So understand that you work through your people, and you make your new people a paycheck, and you work through finding out who knows who. Now, that being said, CJEvents.com, we should be looking at who does George know in Edmonton that knows someone in Red Deer, that knows someone in Wyoming, that knows someone in Quebec. Because I had someone the other day call me and say, I was looking at the ZJEvents.com site, which is also down in the gray section of your back office, or the drinklifein.com site, down in the bottom section of events. You can find it there as well. So know your tools. But at the bottom of that page, you click on there, and all the events come up across North America. And that lady looked on because she's plugged in, right? He pass and plug people into the system. So somebody did their job properly and plugged that lady into the system. And because of that, that lady was paying attention. So she's one of your 5 aces. And she called me up. She dug around and she called me up and found out who's putting this show on down in Magog, Quebec, my hometown. She was calling from South Carolina or something. I'm not sure. And she said, well, I used to ski on Mount Orford, which is, I've got a view of Mount Orford here. And she said, I used to ski there. I used to live there, and I've got a friend that would like to go to your meeting. And I said, bring her out and tell her to walk up to me, right? And so be plugged in, know the system, and be thinking of who knows who. I'm in a French province. Who would have thought in South Carolina that someone married someone down there 20 years ago? You know what I'm saying? So really be aware of the 6 degrees of separation. It's very, 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 very powerful. And not only who do you know, but who does your team know there? So if I have, if I have Coach Epps in my team, I'm going to be making him aware of what he's not thinking about. If he's a new representative, if he's a new partner of mine, I'm going to be saying, hey, Coach, right? That's taking care of the people bottom up. And I'm going to be saying, hey, Coach, who do you know there? And then he'll say, well, I've got this person here and this person. I said, okay, now who do you know there? And who does that person know there? Well, why don't we get on the phone with them and see who they've got on their list? Why don't we get on the phone with that person and this ace and that ace and this other ace, and let's get on the phone with your people and find out who's where. And, I'm getting a call from one of my reps right now, and that just tells me he's not paying attention. He's not on the Go Diamond Focus call, right? And he's telling me that he wants to make money. And that's all good, it's not, there's a lot to learn, and I'm certainly not criticizing, but what I'm saying is, be paying attention. I've got one of my representatives that's very plugged in, and he's got an alarm that goes off on his phone for every single call that exists. So every time there's a call 15 minutes before it, because life gets busy, he puts an alarm on and it goes, whoop, beep, power hour call. And then it says, Go Diamond Focus call, Go Diamond Focus call, Saturday morning training call, millionaire training call. Right? And so he's plugged in and he's making sure that he's on all these calls. And so that just makes the difference. And then if you teach that out to people, little things like that, then they don't miss the calls, they get the training, and then they start learning little golden nuggets that will create momentum in their business, which will create momentum in your business. So it's not just what you do, but it's also a very large part of making sure your team is aware of the system and how important it is, and get them thinking. A little bit of babysitting at the beginning, right? Because, like we said, it's a momentum-based business. So, a lot of people say you don't want to babysit in a large degree. That's true. You don't want to push a wet rope uphill. That's not what I'm suggesting. But what I am suggesting is that people are not aware of the system. People aren't aware of what the system is. People aren't aware of all the websites. Plug them in. Now, if they're not paying attention, then you don't have an ace. Don't try to make an ace out of a 2. And a 2 isn't a bad person. 2 is just someone that says they're serious, but they're not paying attention, and they're not willing to do the sacrifices and do the work. And not everybody is, and that's why there's 4 aces to a deck of cards, not 25. So, to recap here, I guess, Coach, I want to say, be ready to prospect. I love what Coach Epps said the other day. Someone, if you're shopping for new clothes because you lost weight, or someone you know lost weight, right? It's not just only your story you can use. It's my father lost 75 pounds. If I'm going in to buy him a shirt, they can say to me, "Oh, can I help you?" Instead of just saying, like Coach said, instead of just saying, "Oh, just looking around," use that. Have your antennas open, and like ants, right? Have your antennas going, and be ready to say, be ready to say something that will trigger a question that will open the door for you. For example, are you, can I help you? Well, instead of answering, maybe I should just get Coach to say it, but instead of answering, just looking around, use it as a tool to say, you know what, I used to weigh 200 pounds and now I'm down to 140 optimum weight, and I'm feeling great, so I need a new wardrobe. I lost all my weight in like 5 months, and I'm feeling great. And then make it so that they ask you a question, well, how did you do that? Oh, well, let me give you a website, and if you're interested, you can make money. So have your tools, know your tools, have questions that will trigger questions, and then have answers ready in your mind everywhere. And teach this stuff on and make sure people are getting plugged in. Make sure you understand it's a momentum-based business, and 5 who get 5. If everybody on your team, if you've got a team of 10, and you teach them all to build a funnel and do 3 calls a day each, anybody can say, hey, do you have time to take a look at some sites? I've got something really interesting planned B I'm working on. Anybody can do 3 calls a day if they want to. If they're paying attention and they understand the art of teamwork with this. And so if you have 10 people on your team, and you get them thinking all about the benefit to them as to how this is a binary plan and how this will, create momentum for them to go into the new year and create some excitement, and how 5 will get 25 in the new year beginning out if we'll all just work like ants together for a few days here as a big, Super Saturday is coming with Russ Bianchi or Jerem Dastrup or something, or Ryan Palmer or David Moses or Chris Estes or Coach Epps. There's a Super Saturday coming. Make sure you get some people there. Make sure you're doing the calls on Monday in order to have people there on Saturday. Just looking at the time here, I don't know how we're doing. We got 5 minutes late, so make sure if you've got 10 people, everybody does 3 calls. Well, that's 30 calls a day. So, think of a flood. All of a sudden there's no water in the streets, and we had a major flood down here not too long ago, and all of a sudden 6 hours later there's 2 feet of water in the street. Where does it all come from? Well, wherever it's coming from, it's all coming together one drop at a time, right? And that's momentum. And so if everybody understands that this is a team effort, and everybody understands that we all need to do a little bit, and that everybody will win together, this is really a business about teaching others that are new how to create momentum, what the tools are, and making sure they're aware of their surroundings and what's going on. And as a leader, you want to be kind of thinking for the new person that really doesn't have a clue. It always made me think, and I'll finish with this, Coach. I worked on the oil rigs for 11 years, and the first 3 years I used to come home just exhausted from the rig, and I used to think to myself, like, how does that other roughneck just make it look so easy at the end of the day, and I'm coming back and I'm covered in grease and I don't have a clue, and I'm running all day and I'm exhausted. I'm sleeping in the crew truck on the way home, and the next guy is bebopping a song, and I'm thinking, what's he doing that I'm not doing? Well, he knows where the tools are, right? And he's got things figured out. He's been at it for 3 years, so he's able to do in 1 step what takes the new person what used to take me 10 steps. And so 5 years later or whatever, I used to look at the new guy coming on, and he'd be sleeping in the crew truck on the way home, like I used to be, and I used to just kind of watch that and smile and go, man, you got a lot to learn, kid, but that's what it is, guys. It's ladies and gentlemen, it's a learning process. Everything is in life, but really tie in and understand that momentum is the key, teamwork is the key, and if everybody will just pick up 3 phone calls a day and book an appointment as you're hanging up and follow up when you said you would, and make sure they know the importance and that you're busy too, and to make sure that they're there when you pick up for your upline, and then just introduce them to the upline on the three-way call, and just explain why the upline's there, and say, you know, Coach Epps is here just because he's been at this a lot longer, and he offered to help me answer your questions. And I thought that was just awesome because, quite frankly, I was a little nervous because I'm just kind of new to all this, and there's a lot of information, and that's why Coach is on. And then Coach will just say, hey, how you doing? And they'll go on with his call. And so doing those simple activities and understanding who's your upline and who's your downline and everybody working together in a binary plan, everybody doing a couple of calls a week, especially before Christmas, will set you up for the new year in a high velocity momentum way. And 5 becomes 25, 25 becomes 125, 625 very quickly. And that's what David Moses and Phil taught me in the beginning was once you hit 625, you've got a duplicating team. You've become a leader, and you are well on your way to 3,125 and then 9,000 people. Because you're never going to get to 10,000 people unless you can get to 125. And once you get to 125, that's because you've understood the concept of momentum and teamwork and bottom up. You know, teaching the new people and helping them get a paycheck and following up and show the new roughneck what he's not aware of yet. And that's the job of a leader. So with that, I don't want to run out of time here, and I want to respect everyone's time, Coach, and I want to pass the call back to you. And, looks like we're going on the beach somewhere here in January, so I guess we're not going to be snowmobiling, but we'll get call back to you, Coach. On the call.
Well, man, I appreciate that. I know I took some incredible notes, and just watching the things you've done in such a short period of time has been incredible for me, so I know everybody took something away. You guys have an incredible day. 3 a day is all it takes. The fortune is in the follow-up. You guys have a great day. We'll see you on the top. Thanks, sir.